Alright, welcome to Game 2 of the NA Bracket Finals of the Star-Crossed Cup. Factions have switched. It's now going to be Lemon and Disillusion as double Soviets on the west versus double Ost here on the right side from Dusty and Honey Nuts, which they've actually done before in the tournament with some success. And we'll see if they can pull it off again. The map's going to be Lierneux, which this is actually the second time we've seen it in the tournament, so I'm excited about that, and we'll see if the Allies can pull this off. Certainly, the one time that it was played, the Allies won. So it's it seems so far that it may not necessarily favor the Allies, but it's certainly winnable as the Allies. It looks like it's could be pretty balanced. I'm excited to see more matchups on it. This one in particular should be pretty good. Combat engineers moving up here towards the strategic point. These combat engineers moving down toward the south. Meanwhile, over here on the right, we're going to have Grenadiers, more Grenadiers, Grenadiers. Looks like it's going to be a purely Grenadier start from the Axis here. Yeah, double Grenadiers from Honey Nuts, double Grenadiers from Dusty. Meanwhile, Disillusion going with Sniper first. He started with an extra combat engineer, but he is going to get Sniper first here out of a special rifle command. And Lemon is actually going to go really hard into conscripts, which we've seen from Run to the Sun as well. Run to the Sun usually going 3 conscripts into a scout car, I believe. But since his teammate has gone special rifle command, maybe we're going to instead see 3 conscripts into Tier 2. Wow, those conscripts just got owned by those pioneers. Grenadiers also moving up to support. And I think that the Axis is going to have a bit of an advantage down here. In fact, a huge advantage, because they're completely ignoring the top and the snipers up here, but all of the Axis forces are concentrated in this area, and Lemon's definitely going to get pushed back here against 4 Grenadier squads, assuming nothing crazy happens. He's trying to Ura to safety. He hasn't teched Molotovs yet, surprisingly enough. Despite having 4 conscript squads, usually I see Molotov tech when conscript spamming. I usually see Molotov tech after the 3rd conscript squad, because that's about the time you start needing them in these engagements. But instead he opted to just get a 4th squad. And either way, he probably would have been forced to retreat there in the south against the combined might of Honey Nuts and Dusty at the same time, with no support from Disillusion's sniper or scout car. But now things are going to be a little different. Sniper taking shots at what it can. Manages to grab a Grenadier there, but it gets suppressed in the open road by a machine gun in the house. Faust goes off on the scout car there, but these conscripts, ooh, double Faust. They really wanted to take out that scout car, but they get really punished for it, losing a full Grenadier squad. I'm not sure who came out on top of that. Oh, okay, the Axis definitely came out on top, sniping that sniper at maximum range, because he just couldn't path through all of the corpses in this clumps-like area. There was just too much stuff in the way. Sniper goes down, and the Axis will definitely take the upper hand, trading a Grenadier for a scout car and a sniper, which is going to put Disillusion at a really serious disadvantage, losing pretty much his whole army, basically, now being forced to produce a new sniper. Meanwhile, Honey Nuts sitting pretty at 4 Grenadiers and is now getting his first machine gun. Dusty, on the other hand, lost a Grenadier squad, but has had a machine gun here in the building, which certainly paid off, forcing the retreat from that sniper, which unfortunately didn't really retreat very well. He got kind of stuck. Flamethrower in the house is going to force away these conscripts. They're super clumps. Oh, but they're actually vaulting the cover here. Still, he needs to spread them out. Nah, he's not even going to try. He's just got to retreat. There's a machine gun set up here, too, perfectly to just shut him down. Meanwhile, up here, there's a little engagement. I think the combat engineers, yeah, have to run. Wow, Axis just have a really strong position here.
Production upgrade accomplished.
Disillusion going sniper first. He really needed to not lose that sniper. They're really gonna have trouble outbleeding this now with just one sniper on the field. It's gonna take some time for the Soviets to catch up. Time that they, they have. Soviet late game's not bad, but it's gonna be rough with all this harassment up here in the north if they can't punch through somewhere. Wouldn't be surprised to see them rotate north. But we do have some harassment happening down here in the south.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Which is about to get countered pretty hard here.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Sniper firing on a grenadier squad. Ooh, rifle grenade! Oh, only gets one model. Disillusion dodged that one just in time. MG42 has to retreat. This force continues to sort of rotate around. They were going to counter-harass, but unfortunately had to reposition back toward the center to counter this push. Looks like they will be successful, though. These conscripts being suppressed. Oh, what infantry squad was killed? I think Dusty may not have been watching his squad up here in the north. He was too busy with whatever he's doing here in the middle. And he lost a Gren squad. That's his second full Gren squad lost. He didn't trade anything for it this time, so that's a waste.
We are losing a sector.
Disillusion's going to win this as well. Honeynuts needs to watch his harassment attempt here. What is he doing? He's definitely going to lose this. There he goes. And Luftwaffe supply being chosen by Dusty here. And Honeynuts actually chose Luftwaffe supply in semifinals. But this time Dusty's taking it, and Honeynuts is going to go with something else. I'd be really surprised to see double Luftwaffe supply. So we're probably going to have Spearhead or Mechanized Assault. My money's on Spearhead, but who knows? And they must be pretty confident in their hold on this fuel point, because they're dropping fuel supplies extremely close to these enemy troops. Yeah, they did manage to snag them all. Lemon actually oorad into the open road trying to grab them. I almost feel like this was a bait to try and get those conscripts to expose themselves trying to grab that fuel. I wouldn't be surprised to see some medical supplies dropped here in the field either, should they manage to push these enemies back. And that costs 30 munitions to do, so it's not that expensive. Not that expensive at all. But it looks like he's not going to. I don't believe it works in combat anymore anyway. Plus you don't want to risk giving those to your enemy. Ooh, that could be a good one. Oh, detonates the flamethrower. Harassment continues down here. I think these conscripts are finally going to be forced away. These ones may be soon to follow, depending on how things go. And the Allied harassment of the north has taken pretty much all of it back. So actually, as far as map control, the Axis are really getting pushed. They're getting pushed pretty hard. But that Luftwaffe supply extra fuel is going to give Dusty a tank pretty soon. He's already got 90 fuel. He's probably going to go for a P4 like soonish. Pretty soon. As far as Honeynuts, take a look. He's just now tech to battle phase 2. He's got a little fuel in the bank. Hasn't picked a doctrine yet. Not sure what he wants to spend his fuel on. But yeah, pretty much a full retreat from the Axis now. So the Allies have done a good job coming back from that initial engagement that didn't go so well for them.
We have a full complement. We built it. We are losing a sector. We have secured the sector.
This engagement's going pretty well for those conscripts. Lemon still has 4 conscripts, so he's not really spamming conscripts that hard. He decided to tech up and grab a mortar. I guess to take out enemy machine guns and to help against garrisons. His teammate also has a mortar, and these are just the standard mortars, so they're actually... Disillusion's actually gone tier 1 and tier 2, whereas Lemon has only gone tier 2.
Replacements have arrived.
I'm getting a couple kills. Harassment happening down here. Grenadiers doing quite well in these close quarters engagements with their LMGs against conscripts. As long as they can dodge the Molotovs, they'll be pretty much fine. Taking control of all the munitions down here, so actually kind of highly prioritizing the munitions. Not pushing that hard here in the middle. Kind of just grabbing this north victory point, harassing the north fuel, and then going. Honeynut's going really hard for the south. Dusty's kind of spread himself all over the north sort of area, but Honeynut's has gone really hard for the south. Looks like there were some pretty good mines down here. It almost looks like a full squad went down. Although Honeynut's does have a minesweeper. So hopefully he'll be able to see some of those. Oh, look at that. Dusty went with an Ostwind. He rushed an Ostwind as loop off a supply. Very different. Up to 1 kill already. It's certainly going to force that mortar to retreat. I'm surprised he didn't hold out for Panzer IV. But I guess he doesn't think that his opponents are going to make a T-34. Because if his opponents make no T-34, then there's really nothing that can counter him. Almost hit that mine though. Close to hitting this one as well. Oh! It didn't look like he hit that to me, but apparently he did. Of course, his engine was already damaged, so I guess it doesn't make all that much difference, and there's really nothing in the area to follow up. Fortunately for Dusty here. Rifle grenades being exchanged. Second sniper on the field, and the sniper's at 14, so 15 kills. 15 kills at 12 minutes is not great. It's okay, but it's not great. And of course, that's because he lost that initial sniper. And I kind of missed that on camera, but they detected the mine there, and the Ostwind actually destroyed it rather than wasting repair time sweeping it up. So once again, a good tactic to clear mines. Field gun setting up here, but fortunately he's not going to be able to prevent the engine from getting repaired. It has been repaired, and I wouldn't even be surprised to see him just dive straight behind that field gun. There's not really anything that can stop him. Ooh, button goes off, but with the button nerf in the most recent patch, he can still cruise behind like pretty much just fine. And he's still firing, so yeah, you can definitely tell that it's not nearly as drastic before. Prior to the patch, that would have been a dead Ostwind, I think. Although it may still die. It's having trouble clearing the gun, and the PCRS is doing pretty respectable damage. Fortunately, all the mines in this area are already cleared out, but that Ostwind really needs to get clear of those guards. And it's up to 6 kills, which is alright, but it took kind of a lot of damage from that AT gun there, and it's got to go back for repairs. Meanwhile, here in the south, nice use of machine gun here. Pushing back those infantry. Honeynut's kind of blobbing around with grenadiers, expecting to need to win engagements, I guess, but there's not really anything left down here to defend, and he will be able to take all of the territory back. We also have a pack hitting the field from Honeynut's, actually using it to cap first, since there's not really any enemy armor yet. There doesn't seem to be any sign of any enemy armor anytime soon either. We have garden motor from Lemon. Lemon has 250 fuel, and again, holding out for Colin tanks leaves you vulnerable. It leaves you vulnerable to the Ostwind, Panzer IV, other medium armor, like quicker medium armor that's a little faster. So 3 command points is kind of far away. He's just going to keep on saving up and not try and bridge the gap. Disillusion, on the other hand, is 200 fuel, and he went mechanized support. He's down by a little fuel because he went with his 2 tier buildings, but he's definitely going to have the fuel by the time he hits 12 command points. But I think that Honeynuts and Dusty intend to punish them really hard for holding out for Colin tanks like this. Grenadiers being forced to retreat.
The sector is at risk.
The North Fuel has actually changed hands many times, which is good to see. South Munitions also changing hands many times. These Grenadiers are getting extremely exposed. There you go. And this machine gun has actually taken a grenade and it's reloading, but it's managed to pin those guards. It's doing massive damage. Oh no! The incendiary rounds. Oh, almost wiped that guard squad. And he gets away with just a sliver of health remaining. More supplies being dropped in, munition supplies in fact. And the fuel is pretty securely in Allied hands right now. The Axis need to grab this. In fact, actually, I'm not sure why they haven't. It's weird.
Guard squad ready.
Incendiary bombing run hit this area. Doesn't look like it did that much. Grenadier's gonna get forced out of the house. There's a machine gun set up over here, though. Lots of stuff here in the north. Looks like the Austrian's been repaired and it's on its way back to try and inflict some kills. Runs into an AT gun, though. I think he's kind of struggling to get the most out of this. I think if he'd gone P4, he'd probably have more kills with P4 than he's gotten with this Austrian. The Austrian's the cheaper option, though, and it's also an anti-air option, but I mean, I don't think the enemy's really going to have any planes. Meanwhile, over here, ooh, catches Lemon not paying attention to a conscript squad. Nice counter-harassment there. More incendiary bomb run coming in. Ooh, catches those guards' retreat path a little bit. Taking pretty heavy damage on retreat. They barely get clear. That was almost a squad wipe right there. And Honey Nut's blob of Grens is only getting stronger. Double vet on all of these. LMG upgrades on all of them as well. And I'm not sure if Honey Nuts has chosen a commander yet. No, still 8 command points and he still hasn't chosen. At this point, it almost doesn't even matter. Probably, I don't know, he's not saving up for Tigers, that's for sure. He's just purchased a Panther, so he's teched all the way to Battle Phase 3. And he's going to be bringing in a Tiger. Ooh, very nearly loses a squad to that guard grenade. Unfortunately, it just doesn't quite happen. And Dusty just keeps dropping munition supplies. Interesting. I wonder what, I wonder why Dusty keeps giving munitions to Honey Nuts. Honey Nuts... He's just spamming LMG Grens. I guess he just needs the munitions for his LMG upgrades. Maybe he's been planting some teller mines. I'm not sure. He's not using it on any doctrinal abilities. So I'm not sure where all that munitions is going. Because he's not floating like 600 munitions either. Oh no, wait, Dusty's picking that up, not Honey Nuts. I don't know why I thought Honey Nuts was picking that up. So if Dusty's picking that up, he's using that on the incendiary bomb strikes. So that makes more sense. It's converting a lot of manpower just into incendiary bombing runs. I think it's kind of working too. Especially if he can land it on these mortars. He almost wiped a guard squad with it, and it certainly forced a lot of pushes to retreat. Yeah, there's an incendiary bomber on all the team weapons. Ooh, that was a pretty good one, I think. Catches some guards in the back as well. Inflicting really heavy damage. Oh, geez, wiping the mortar entirely. This one actually didn't really take any damage at all. And Dusty actually has a Panzer IV moving up in addition to his Austrian, and it looks like this whole approach really hasn't been mined. Wiping out that mortar. This field gun's trying to set up in position. Ooh, anti-tank grenade goes off on the Panzer IV, but it manages to get clear of the arc. This one hasn't rotated yet. I think Dusty's going to lose this P4 here. He's going in super hard. He's just being so aggressive with his medium tanks, trying to make them count before the enemy's tanks hit the field, and I feel like he's kind of getting the job done, but lost his Oswin. Maybe not the end of the world, considering the limited impact the Oswin is going to have for the rest of this game, but it's a shame that Final Panther 4 also goes down. And really, he did inflict a lot of bleed, clearing out those team weapons, but none of the team weapons were destroyed. So it's going to be expensive for the Soviets to get those recruited. I'm not sure that was worth it. That being said, Honey Nuts and Dusty have captured the entire map in the midst of this push. The Soviets are really getting pushed back because they decided to stall for their Collins. We'll see if they can make a comeback now that the T-3485s are here. Lemon up to, finally up to the resources and he needed to call these in. I'm surprised they didn't hit the field earlier, to be honest. He must have just been bleeding too much. Oh geez, both of them are snared. I think Honey Nuts is tempted to go in hard, but there is a field gun back there. He's marked. Nice use of the pack to destroy the enemy field gun, though. Yeah, I think he was considering it. He probably really wanted to finish that thing off, but it was just the bait. Despite being tempting, Honey Nuts decided to use better judgment. Pull back. Probably the right call there. Even though it was one shot from dead. Fuel cache going up here. And if we actually take a look at resources, Dusty's pop cap is now the lowest out of everyone because he just threw away his 2 tanks. But he has tons of resources in the bank. He can actually just keep converting his manpower to supply drops if he wanted to, I guess. Considering he's kind of low on munitions and fuel, but has quite high manpower float. Not sure what he's thinking of doing. He skips tier 2. And because he did that, he probably doesn't want to just crank out more grenadiers. No, he doesn't really want any more tier 1 units, I think. And all of these things are fuel expensive, and he doesn't have any tier 2 to blow money on packs or Panzer Grenadiers. So he's kind of stuck with his float. I think continuing to drop supplies would be the best call if he just wants to keep producing tanks. But Axis map control is just great right now.
Is attempting to steal our sector.
And yep, more supplies are being converted down here. Those Grenadiers have a DP. Disillusion moving up with guards and snipers. Disillusion probably not far at this point from ISU. He's got 13 command points and he's just called it in. I think he was gated by his manpower. He's actually got the highest pop cap out of everybody now. Before calling it in, he wasn't that high though. He was behind Honey Nuts. ISU is definitely going to punish that blobbing, though. Grenadiers have to make a mass retreat. Of course, Honey Nuts, I think, is building to counter the ISU with his medium tanks here. Actually, let's take a look at Honey Nuts' commander. He's got 200 fuel. He's got 200 fuel, so he could have brought in another Panther by now. I think he's having a debate with himself on whether he wants to call in another Panther or instead hold out for another Tiger. Nope, never mind. He's made his decision and another Panther is on the way. So he'd rather get a Panther than a Tiger. The Panther is actually only 16 pop cap, whereas the Tiger is like 24. So from an economic standpoint, spamming Panthers can actually work a little bit better. Ooh, stupid bomb strike. I think that hit some stuff here. I don't know, I can't tell. Yeah, I think it cleared that AT gun.
The squad of pioneers has arrived. First complete.
They're quite intent on protecting the ISU's flanks with their T-34s rather than spreading out and trying to use them for map control. Just trying to win engagements right now, it looks like. ISU has 5 kills, nothing too dramatic yet. Ooh, that pack just landed target weak point on it. It's gonna take probably quite a bit of damage here. Oh, luckily the ISU one-shots it. Panther has to pull back. Fortunately, that Panther managed to get a couple good shots in though, while these T-34s were like still trying to reposition. And trying to just slowly bleed the ISU is pretty much the best way to combat it. If you go in like super hard and with like a mega push of all of your tanks, you probably won't succeed. But if you can just do a lot of damage to it, the Soviets are probably one of the factions that struggle to repair their heavy tanks the most, compared to U.S. forces in Upper Command West at least. In fact, if we take a look, Disillusion has 2 combat engineers, and Lemon has 1, so 3 combat engineers combined throughout their entire army, which is, you know, it'll get the job done. It's gonna take time. Really heavy damage going out from the Panthers. Second Panther has hit the field, and it's really hurting. Field gun is set up to push him back, though. I mean, that's kind of just whittling them down. It's going to take forever for 3 combat engineers to repair an ISU and 2 heavily damaged T-34s. On the flip side of that, Dusty has 2 pioneers. Honey Nuts has 2 pioneers, so they have like slightly more. It's nothing like crazy, but I just feel like they're slowly gonna out-repair this. So ISU takes a really long time to repair. I think Panthers actually don't take like that long to repair, because they're medium tanks. T-34s, T-34-85s are medium tanks too, but they actually have quite a lot of health, so they take a long time. Infantry getting pushed back by the guards here. And that blob is becoming pretty scary. Definitely giving Honey Nuts infantry dominance. And Honey Nuts finally chose a doctrine and decided that he wanted close air support too, or Luftwaffe supply. Dropping himself some supplies. He's got 366 munitions in the bank. I guess that makes sense. He's not buying Tigers, so that's his only option. If he's not going to be buying Tigers, then the other 2 doctrines are not useful to him at this point.
It's done.
So they're just going to keep the resources coming in and try and outproduce them using only their non-doctrinal tanks, which is pretty fun to see, and I want to see if it works, and it looks like it has been working. But yeah, they're going to have to keep up the pressure and try and get some kills without losing any of their own. Stuka bomb run coming in somewhere. There's a recon run in this area. Oh geez, if it's on these medium tanks. Oh! Ouch. No squad wipes. I think they're really lucky that there were no squad wipes. I think they were kind of slow to react to that Stuka bomb strike. I guess they just weren't sure where it was, and just more artillery getting called in everywhere. Incendiary barrage on all this infantry. They have to retreat. ISU forces away those Grens, though. Ionas could bomb something if he wanted to. 2 Stuka bomb strikes combined with 2 incendiary bombing runs, with the Axis having 58 munitions coming in, is going to make it hell for the Allies, honestly, to do anything. The Axis barely even need to push. They can just recon and then blast all the remaining team weapons. With that kind of munitions income, 58 a minute. With no sign of slowing down, really, the Allies have not even a tiny attempt at harassment in the south. They're completely boxed in on this victory point.
R1G team.
Oh, so much for that machine gun. I'm kind of surprised that the Axis hasn't pushed a little harder. The Panthers are repaired. Maybe they're waiting for Dusty to actually have, like, stuff again. He's only got one P4. In fact, Dusty actually teched again. Dusty teched up higher to Battle Phase 3 and made himself a Panther. I was kind of expecting him to just stick with Tier 3 and do what he could with Panzer IVs, but apparently he's just gonna stick it out, play the long game. Which is probably a smart decision. And now that he's got a Panther and Honeynuts has a third Panther, that's 4 Panthers and a Panzer IV on the field. I think with Stuka bombing run and incendiary artillery support, there's no way the Allies are going to be able to stop the next push. I can't even imagine a scenario where that happens. Nice use of the Panzer IV for counter-harassing. That's a really good roll for it here at the 31-minute mark with an ISU on the field. Protecting that fuel cache. Just making sure that the Axis resource income stays at 50-something. Because they are going to need munitions to make this strategy continue to work. Apparently an incendiary bombing run went off here. Maybe even 2 incendiary bombing runs. A second ISU is hitting the field. They need to push. They need to push now. Oh man, they could not have time for this push better. They're timing it perfectly with that second ISU being called in. As long as they can take out everything over here before the second ISU makes it up, and it's like stuck pathing in the spawn, which is kind of dumb, but okay. Go in hard. Stuka bomb run getting called in somewhere. ISU being forced to reposition. Ooh, it's on the field gun. Nice choice. Another Stuka bomb run right there as well. Kills so much stuff. Panthers are wiping out the T-34s, and the ISU is taking heavy damage and not able to get any shots off. The second ISU has made it up to the engagement, as well as more T-34s arriving to reinforce as well, but this ISU does go down. Panthers continuing to do a lot of heavy damage. They need to maybe even make an escape here. That T-34 goes down. All the frontal shots penetrate. Also managed to clear the field gun. I don't know. I think this engagement has turned toward the Axis, but the ISU is moving up. And it looks like they're going to go in hard. Maybe. Mark target goes off on this Panther. Ooh, that Panther just took a ton of damage from the ISU. It has to pull away. Dusty doing what he can to the T-34s and just tanking ISU shots. Incendiary bomb strike called on these retreating conscripts. ISU shot connects with the P4. Could he get this? No. Oh, it's abandoned. Oh no. Oh no. Panther looks. Oh, he just Stuka bomb strikes the abandoned tank. He was not going to let them have that back, and he used a Stuka bombing strike to finish it off. Nice judicious use of the bomb strike, but the Panther gets taken out at max range by the ISU, and the ISU is still at essentially max health. And this Panther desperately needs to pull back for repairs. What a brutal engagement. I guess that went to the... I don't know who came out on top of that. I don't know. That was devastating for both sides. There's now a Panther remaining, as well as one T-34 and one ISU. And Dusty and Honeynuts are just smashing into the Soviet lines with their medium tanks. And a second Panther is already here. That's going to be Honeynuts' 4th Panther, I think. And I think Dusty made the right decision taking up, fighting the long guy, and trying to outproduce with Panthers rather than Panzer IVs. But they can't afford to lose any map. They need to keep their resource income strong to continue to outproduce their Soviet opponents. Soviets have pretty much run out of steam now. If the Soviets don't get some territory back very soon, they're not going to be able to keep up with the flood of Axis medium tanks. I love the aggression from these Axis players, though. Not hiding behind a Jagdtiger. Lots of non-stop action. This double Luftwaffe supply strategy is so new to me. I've never seen anything like it, and I really think it's working. It seems to be working quite well. but of course it does hinge on them being able to actually call in these extra resources. Dusty's Panther arrives. ISU has 7 kills, nothing crazy, because so much Axis resources are invested in tanks rather than infantry. Not that their infantry blobs are not impressive. Honeynuts, actually, Honeynuts has lost pretty much his entire blob. He has 1 vetted squad left. This is a fresh squad he purchased for capping. As far as team weapons, there's a wounded field gun, and that's it. So once again, I don't know if the Allies are going to be able to stop a coordinated push by 3 Panthers. I just don't know if it's possible. It looks like we're about to find out. That Panther just rounded the corner on that ISU really quickly. T-34 moving up to support, but the shots bounce. And it looks like Dusty's going to pull back. He evaluated the situation and decided to be a little more careful. Stuka bomb strike being called in somewhere. Incendiary bombing run also coming in on various stuff. I thought I heard a Stuka bomb strike, maybe not. Panthers circling the ISU. T-34 coming up from behind, trying to finish off that Panther, but Dusty's Panther is probably caught in a bad position. Oh, main gun destroyed from the ISU shot. It could get clear. Turret traverse is not working out for that T-34. There's no way it's going to escape. The ISU is a sitting duck. And it gets taken out by the Panther. Dusty's Panther outmaneuvering this T-34 to the best of its ability. It's taking a bit of damage, though. Could go down. Oh, the other Panther takes a shot from up there and finishes it off. Meanwhile, the field gun is about to get cleared by Pyos. This guard squads just get wiped by Pyos. Grenadiers also up to support, and all 3 Panthers survive the engagement. Perfect tank micro. Perfect tank micro, and also gets away with a little bit of luck with the main gun destroyed crit there. Not that, you know, the enemy didn't get a little of that of their own with the abandoned T-34 over here, so. Then again, an abandoned T-34 can't drive away. Clearing out the remaining field gun. Meanwhile, in the south, some Pyos are beating some combat engineers. S-Mine's also a nice use of those in this forest area. And Lemon is, despite losing the tank war, trying to kind of win the territory war down here. The Axis have pretty much poured everything they had into that engagement. But as soon as these tanks all sort of get repaired, the Soviets are just in a really, really rough position. Disillusion has 137 fuel, so nowhere near his next to ISU. Nowhere near it at all.
We have 200 points remaining.
Guards getting bullied by these Panthers. They have to retreat. And more Panthers are on their way. More Panthers are on their way. The Soviets really had to trade in that engagement, not lose everything.
We have more conscripts.
There's not going to be any keeping up with this. They're producing a bunch of fresh field guns, which I think is probably a good call. If they just tried to hold out for their heavy tanks, as far as manpower, then they would just get massively outproduced. There would be no chance of keeping up. Lots of mines, defensive mines being planted as well for the Panthers' next push. It's smart. It is, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. I think that kind of tells you that they're going to be relying on their opponents to make some sort of critical mistake to be able to win this game. And I think that's true though. That's their only chance. Their opponents have to make a very critical mistake
Taking what we have secured.
for them to have any chance here.
We need to re-establish our supply lines. Anti-tank gun is ready for action. The new men have arrived.
Yeah, I really feel like this game's just a matter of time. The Axis are going to repair all of their tanks. That's 5 Panthers. 5 Panthers. And Panthers are quite good for their pop cap. 16 pop cap for a Panther. So, a Tiger is better than a Panther, certainly, but when you think the game's going to run long like this, I think that the Panther becomes more cost-effective because of its pop cap. The upkeep associated with the Panther is much less, and you can have way more of them, and still have like a decent-sized infantry army. For example, if we take a look at Dusty, he's got 2 Panthers, but he still also has 3 Grens, 2 Piles, machine gun, and that's only 66 pop cap. He still has plenty of room to expand his forces, but 2 Tigers, if he had 2 Tigers instead of 2 Panthers, he wouldn't really be able to get anything else at this point. That would be pretty much it.
Resupply by air is now available, Commander.
Allies are just getting bled by the incendiary bombing run. Even their infantry forces, even when the Axis are just sort of probing and looking for opportunities, not even making a full-on push. They're fine. It looks like we're gonna see a push, though. Looks like they're poised to strike, although Dusty needs some repairs on his Panthers. Honey, that's still working on this one as well. But as far as victory points, the Axis are about to take control and probably not lose control anytime soon.
Forces are securing our territory. Luftwaffe supply overflights are ready and await your command. Grenadiers reinforced!
I think Lemon is just asking to get incendiary striked. Putting his AT guns so close together like this. Not that it makes that much difference, I don't think, for the rest of this game. All the tanks are finally repaired, and Honeynuts actually felt sufficiently comfortable to get a Panzerwerfer. Apparently it already has 4 kills. Not that I think it's a bad purchase at all. I mean, look at this. There it goes. Kind of missed a little bit. Ooh, incendiary bombs, incendiary strike and Stuka bomb run getting called in. Ooh. Nothing too catastrophic, but that T-34 stands no chance. No chance. Here comes Dusty's Panthers as well. Hits onto the defensive mines. And he pretty much stops the second Panther in its tracks. He assumes that there's probably more, and he's correct. So it pulls back a little bit. But they do manage to push up to the victory point. Allies get set back once again. bomb strike forces yet another retreat. 63 munitions coming in for the Axis. That's a Stuka bomb strike every 3 minutes, almost more than that, in fact. And it's an incendiary bombing run every 2 minutes. And that's it. The Allies have surrendered. They know that there's just no coming back from their current situation. So that means that it's going to go into a new round where they're actually going to be on even footing. That is the first time that Slayers has lost a round. So both of them are now going to be on even footing, fighting a final best of 3 for the opportunity to compete in the championship to be winners of the Star-Crossed Cup. So we'll be right back with the next round.